Hello and welcome to JPWHU Radio with me, your host, John Phillips, also known as JP. On today's podcast, we are talking about the interview that Daniel Kretinsky has given with The Times that was published on Sunday. To listen to the full podcast of this, please do become a Patreon. Links in the description below. Otherwise, let's get to it. So in case you didn't know, there was an article that was published in The Times on Sunday, aka yesterday by the time you guys get to hear this, with an interview with Daniel Kretinsky that probably took place a week or so ago in relation to the takeover bid that is happening at West Ham United. Daniel Kretinsky is quoted as saying, "We have a very credible strategy. We do not need to sell the players for financial reasons." I've heard that before. "We are doing this to make sure we are promoted back to the Premier League immediately. That is our only goal. Key players are waiting for us," as in waiting to find out what's going on. "They want to see there is a real chance of keeping the squad together. What matters is funding, strategy and consistency. We have spoken to all of them. They need to see that our project is real and serious, and promotion is our only goal." And the article also goes on to say that a source close to Kretinsky said, "We have a clear path to total control. We are already the de facto management of the club." So basically saying, in layman's terms, they are the big boys. Now, in terms of the information that went up on the club website as well, that went up on Saturday. It says, "As shareholders and directors of West Ham, our focus is now firmly on protecting the future of this football club. Our goal is to stabilise West Ham United, to retain as many of our key players as possible, and, under the management of Nuno Espirito de Santo, secure an immediate return to the Premier League. We are also committed to engaging with our fans and all business partners to build a stronger future for our club." Now, just to reiterate, the business partners will include not Umbro anymore, because it'd be New Balance that's doing the kits for next season. Quick Books, even for some random reason, I can't say that. Lily Plummer Risks, eToro, Jeton, the Kingdom Bank, Leica Mobile, Core Play, Red Bull, Brewdog, Namirov, EVA Air, ITD, P1 Travel, Salus, Paul Robinson, Medibly, basically all the sponsors, as well as now. It'd be nice to see if we get invited out to talk to these guys as well, for that matter, to make sure that our voice is heard properly. So to continue what's on the website, it says, "We have already taken concrete steps towards this goal." So that implies that they've had conversations with all the sponsors and basically said, "Look, we know what David Sullivan's been up to. We didn't know about it all that long ago, but we're taking steps to make sure that little cretin, cretin, I should say, that little cretin doesn't in fact have any impact on the club going forward." Okay, so to continue the quote now, it says, "As such, we have reached agreement on the key terms of a share purchase transaction between the Gold family and 1890 Holdings, which, subject to other shareholders' preemption rights and necessary approvals, would make 1890 Holdings (brackets part of the broader group EP) the largest shareholder in West Ham with an approximately 43% stake." So basically saying, yeah, Kretinsky's buying the Gold family, some of the Gold family shares. "As the largest shareholder, Group EP will be able to provide the additional financing the club needs." And it also goes on to say, "We expect to finalise this transaction in the next couple of weeks." So regardless of what everybody else has been saying, he's not the majority shareholder yet. The deal isn't done, so there's no takeover like certain West Ham YouTube channels are saying. He's not, but the process has basically started. To continue on, once the agreement is complete, Group EP and the Gold family have also agreed to vote jointly on key matters to support the strategy targeting an immediate return to the Premier League. Alongside Daniel Kretinsky and Vanessa Gold and the other shareholders, namely Trip Smith, Daniel Harris and Terry Brown, we are fully aligned on this strategy and stabilising the club. Basically, making sure that all the infighting that was going on behind the scenes is no longer in existence and David Sullivan can jog on. We are taking these steps because West Ham United needs to be truly united at this moment in history. In its history. We believe that a strong coalition of fans, players, management and the board is essential to securing the bright future this club deserves. We are absolutely committed to playing our part. And that's the end of the quote from the website. Now, I do take some issue with this in terms of the fact that don't get me wrong, it's absolutely lovely to hear and lovely to read. But I just I just think that what was on the in the Times quote could have really been on the club website to re-emphasize the point. Because obviously the club statement is an official one that's gone out all the newspapers and all that bollocks. But yeah, so there is no takeover yet. There is no majority shareholder yet. I mean, a majority shareholder from a footballing perspective is having 51% and upwards shares. Reason being, that's why it's called the majority shareholder, is so the other people on the board cannot have an amount of shares that are more than yours. That's what a majority shareholder is the larger number. Yes, he has 43%. And will have 43% in the next few weeks, but obviously that means that the power share, the amount of shares that the Gold family have reduced as a result of it. And so David Sullivan still has his shares, albeit he stepped down and he won't have any voice on that. But he still has enough shares in there to go with to try and go against everybody else, but it's not going to happen because, as I say, everybody is coming together in a coalition. Now, I just hope it works better than the coalition the last time we were aware of between the Tory party and the Lib Dems, because we all know how that went. So coalition is not exactly the best of terms to say, but I get we get the point on there. That's just the way that's a very political way of putting things. Now, obviously, as we know, Karen Brady, who was never a shareholder to begin with, buggered off a couple of months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. So, that makes things easier from that point of view. This again, one of the reasons why we're talking about this is because this goes back to the long-term future plan video that I did and podcast that I did a week or literally within the last week. So that's it for your free version of the podcast. If you want to listen to the full, unedited and slightly more vocally graphic version of the podcast, then by all means, please do become a Patreon. It's for £3.80 a month. You can pay more for 1 pint in London than you do for an entire month's worth of content. So please do consider it. You'll be helping me out a hell of a lot. We're bringing more content to you, the more patrons I can get. But also, please do subscribe to this podcast as well on whatever platform you are listening to. Please also go and check out JPWHU TV, because there will be videos over on YouTube to complement the podcasts. So go check those out as well. But in the meantime, look after yourselves, take care, and I will speak to you very soon.